Hi, hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to a WETATi webinar. Today is June the 2nd. Aren't you lucky that you're alive and well? We are experiencing uncertain times that most of you in your young lives might not have experienced before. So welcome to real life. And in a good way, really, because without going through certain times in life, you may not understand how you need to lead your life, really. So when you guys get through this, you're going to come out of it a lot stronger and a lot more, with a lot of wisdom and strength to carry on with the rest of your lives. So welcome to this segment of the WETATi YoungPrenuer live webinar training. So a whole lot of you have been sending email, talking to me one-on-one and stuff like that. But I think it's imperative that you be able to share this platform with other students or the individuals who are interested. We have 4 core programs that WETATi offers, but we're very, 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 very heavy duty laden by the concept of entrepreneurship, especially for such a time as this. Each and every one of you, no one could say they don't know what's going on right now in the country and around the world. The bottom line is your generation really has a responsibility to make sure that as you go forth, you're not going back the way things used to be. You're not going to be job-seeking mindset laden. You would know that you owe it to yourself and your generation to dictate the terms of your financial well-being. That's why we're very heavy on entrepreneurship mindset and actually doing something about it. Some of you that have been following and have been doing what you need to do, you don't have to worry. If this is your first time joining, make sure you go back to the website or send an email to info@wetati.com so we can guide you with what you missed and so you can go back and do your lessons. Some of you that have been doing it, go back and make sure. Because at the end of the 8 weeks of the WETATi entrepreneurship course that we have, you are going to not only get a certification on entrepreneurship, which you can utilize when you're trying to go get a job. People think that if you engage in entrepreneurship means that you must be a business person. By the way, every human being is a business person. The question is, whose product or services are you selling and you're not benefiting? But let's say you're not interested in creating wealth for yourself and your family, and you just want to work and you just want to have life a little bit, whatever, easier. I don't know what is easy. Even working 9 to 5 is not easy either. But let's say that's your choice. What about the fact that if you're not going to whatever company and you are able to show them that you have a certification in entrepreneurship because you participated in this, they're going to look at you differently from the next John Doe who came for the same job, because you have distinguished yourself, that you were presenting them with more than classroom knowledge. That's big. We're also going to give you what we call METIER, M-E-T-I-E-R certification, which is going to help us at the end of this program sort out from the lessons you've been taking to let you know what it is that we believe will be your core talent or skill towards entrepreneurship, towards workforce development, the things that you didn't even know you're good at. But we've been sifting through all the lessons you've been going through to be able to kind of help you so you can say, if you want to be one of the top corporate executives at Target, you can show them, let's say you're, I don't know who is with me today, you can show them that you are very good with customer care, you're very good with people. And this is the thing that we're able to do for you, that we've become that person who kind of certifies you to let you know that other people who want to work with you know that you've been tested and proven, that you're going to be an asset to that company. So those are some of the benefits you get in addition to so much more. So if you're not following us in any of our social media, please follow us. Let's do this thing together. WETATi is the reason why you are here, because this time is the time where each and every one of you must stand up and be counted, that you must stand up and make sure that you don't go back at the way things used to be, because it will never be. So today we're continuing the segment that we have. Sometimes we have webinar that bears on the lessons that you've been taking. And from there will be a lesson that you need to take you to was the competition. Those of you that have been doing this, you don't need to compete if you don't want, but I can tell you life is competition in itself. The more you engage, the more you do things that you don't even know how it's going to pan out, the more life will prepare you for it. So right now we're going to get started with the program. My name is Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureki, the founder and president of WETATi. I have gone through so much in my lifetime. I built a lot of businesses with nothing, with no means in sight. But I can tell you, if it wasn't the fact that I pushed myself against all odds to do the things that my generation at the time weren't doing, didn't think it was feasible. That's the reason why I've earned the seat to talk before you and to guide you on what you need to do to be successful. Your friends may not be interested in business, but it doesn't matter what your friends want, it's what you want. Some of them may be able to work for you someday. I never know. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but you're doing the right thing. I can guarantee you that moment. So I don't want to, next slide, please. I don't want to belabor the point about me because it's not about me. Today, we are talking about the 7 etiquettes for successful entrepreneurs. Show me a successful person. I can point to you what they did right in their lives. And by the way, the information we're sharing with you today that you're going to get trained on, you can apply it in every aspect of your life, and you'll be amazed how awesome your life is going to become. You see, success, as much as people say you're lucky, to be honest with you, it's less luck than what you did behind the scenes when nobody's looking. You could have been watching some TV, but you're here with us. So the first etiquette is what we call be early and be prepared. I'm sure you said, well, I've heard that before, but not in this regard. What are we talking about with the perspective of an entrepreneurial mindset? Most of you, if you start now, when most of your mates are not even thinking about that, they're like, I need to get education, I can get a good job. If you prepare, which is what we're doing for you here, helping you to prepare early so that you can get out there and begin to create your own wealth. It doesn't matter how small that idea may be for you. No matter what it is that anybody else is telling you that it isn't, you need to believe in yourself. Start early. Early is sort of relative. Some people's yesterdays, they're early. If today is your first time engaging, you are starting early, because I can guarantee you, when you go back in the annals of history, some of those that are your friends or the people you know around, you will realize that you started very early. So if you start early and you're prepared, how do you prepare? Preparedness comes from the little things you do every day, no matter how difficult it is. Right now, you didn't have to be on this call. You didn't need to be on this webinar training. But you are here because you're preparing yourself. The discipline that you will learn in this regard, like for instance, some of you that have been following through, when I read the work and I watch the answers you put in your lessons, I'm like, wow, this person is going somewhere. The fact that you're doing this like right now, it may not seem like a lot, but for the fact that you show up early, some of you logged on even right before it was 4 o'clock, every single aspect of the things you do in life, they'll all add up to the person that you become. If you look back 5, 10 years from now, you can trace it to this moment. You may not understand it. When you're looking for a mentor, the goal is for you to do, even if you don't understand, if you trust that person to guide you, when they tell you to do something, you do it. Because at the end of the day, some years later, you realize it helped you. So in all that you do, be present. Start very early. If you're just starting right now, don't say, oh my God, my life is over, I've missed this and that. No, you're starting very early. Whether you're going to get a job and they ask you to be there at 10 o'clock and you get there at 10 o'clock, you are late. To be early, you have to be at least 15 minutes before that time. You want to get up. So just think about this. This starting early is not just speaking to business, it's speaking to every aspect of your life. There are a couple of students that I don't want to mention their name that I know they're going somewhere because they're doing everything very early. If I say Dr. Dureki said to call her at 10 o'clock, by whatever, 9:50, they already called. I'm telling you that if you don't present yourself early in everything that you do in life, and you don't come prepared, say even your schoolwork, for some of you that might have gotten B's or C's in the class, it's not because you're dumb, it's not because you're not smart, but you didn't come prepared. That's the same mindset. Maybe you didn't even study until maybe an hour or 2 hours before the exam, and then you wonder why you didn't get an A. I'm not saying that a correlation between study and A is all that matters, but to tell you that even if you think you're not smart, because I don't know why people say they're not smart, but to be honest with you, I don't think I'm smart in that regard, but I always work hard to prepare myself, because history has it that most people who are successful is not because they're smarter or more, hardworking than others, but they always prepare, they go the extra mile. because I didn't have it that much. So even when I was in college, when other students are playing, I know for a fact that I need to study night and day a week before. So 2 days to the exam day, I'm looking around, I'm relaxing because I prepared. So in 3 years, I graduated with honors, not because I'm smarter, but I'm telling you the power of starting early and being prepared. Next slide, please. I want you to always think to yourself at every moment, am I early in what I'm doing? And don't worry about who sees you. Remember, character is not what people see you do, it's what you do behind closed doors. Have you heard about people that say, oh, that was an overnight success? It's not true. It's only when they came to realize that the person has achieved. If somebody say it was that overnight success could have been the preparation and showing up early for yourself for the last 10, 20 years. But when that time comes, you know for a fact that you have shown up every time you're called upon, even to yourself, your own personal leadership. Not even what I'm asking you, anybody asking you to do. It will show up in the type of business you start. It will show up in the kind of relationship you're going to build. It will show up in the way you carry yourself in the world. So don't take it lightly. Early and preparedness are the key to success. And show me a successful business person, man or woman. I can show you those who have always showed up early and they've always prepared above and beyond. Make sure of it. And then we go to slide 2. Be present and active in your community. This is one of the ones that I'm sure some of you say, what is that? You know, most of you, again, not know who is here and who isn't. Most of you always say to me, oh, I don't have time, I'm doing my homework, or I can't do this. I can guarantee you, some may even call it networking. You have to be present and active. Just look at what is going on right now around the world. Some of you are very passive, pulling back and watching it on TV, like I am to some degree, because I watch it on TV sometimes, but I'm doing something about it. I'm reaching out, I'm pulling people together, incentivizing them, telling them the reason why they need to, show them the part I've played. If you don't show up when you're called upon and you're not active in your community, how are people going to pay attention to the product you're going to produce tomorrow? It is, remember, everything is relationship based. If you're not showing up and volunteering yourself to things that you may even not even see the need for it, I can guarantee you, when it gets to the time you come up with an idea, you want to share, people are going to say, oh, so who have you been talking to in the community? If you stay active in your community, that's how you're going to be discovered. That's how people are going to know who you are. Then when you bring an idea about a business venture, people will listen to you. Be present. Again, the word being present. Early and be present. It is crucial that if you're not committed in your community, because charity begins at home, success begins at home, in your community. That's why if you look at the celebrities, especially in the Black community, most of the times it is a community that kind of packages their brand and presents it to the world, because they either we're active somehow, volunteering, helping other people, the seniors or what have you. For instance, if you notice those that have gotten a lot out of this COVID-19 in a positive way, it is people who give of themselves, not expecting anything in return. Now, because honor begets honor, all of a sudden, because they showed up, because they're active in making sure they give back. It's the same way. Are you looking to become a successful businesswoman or man, but you've never volunteered your time or talked to those who have succeeded in business and call them up and say, sir, do you mind? I would like to come and shadow you. Can I carry your bag? Can I do this for you? Because there's another book I'm writing that is called Successful People Leave Clues. If you don't follow the clues of those who have succeeded before you, you're reinventing the wheel. You don't need to. That's the truth of the matter. How active are you in your community? Who are you relating to? What kind of relationship are you building with people? Because you can have the greatest idea in this world, but without the right relationship or community support, it is almost virtually impossible. But if you're not present, showing up is even more than 50% of what you need. Do you know that the product you produce, the success of it, is not so much about how good it is or isn't, it's who's willing to carry you through, who's willing to buy into you. Because if they can buy into you, they will buy into your product. Do you follow me? So it is imperative that you show up. And for God's sake, stop thinking what is in there for me. This is that sentence is actually a pandemic in the minority communities, especially Black communities like myself. That is part of the poison that is killing our people, because what is in there for me, if you don't take that out of yourself, you will never do. I could discover it myself. So if you say what is in there for you, for that reason, you're not going to serve, you're not giving of yourself what you know you should do. You don't know that sometimes the thing that you don't want to do is actually where your destiny is tied. The idea you're going to get that may be the game changer in your life could come from something you volunteered to do, where you went into the community, where you reached out to somebody. Get out of your comfort zone, be present all the time, and look for a place to serve. In the presence and in the process of serving and being active and giving yourself, that's how that big aha moment would come. That's how, next slide, that's how. So if you want to know, these are some of the etiquettes. But see, a lot of you don't even think about these things. Some of you think that, oh, I'm just going to graduate, get a degree, and go get a job. Wake up, everyone. This is a wake-up call. This virus, this COVID-19, and this death of another brother in the hands of the police, that shows the inequalities, the inequitable things of this world here in America, that you have, your bar is higher than anybody else. So you cannot be mediocre in the way you think and do things. If other people, quote unquote, are to get away with something, you and I may not be able to get away with it. That means you have to raise your bar a little higher. If you're starting a business, say you want to start a clothing line, you can't start a clothing line that is already there. You have to, that some other people in other communities can get away with and make their billions right away. So what am I talking about? Crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I remember years ago, at one of the WETATi convention, so we had some women come from Gambia. They will make some African clothes, some shea butter, but the shea butter is put in a plastic that you can't even, I can tell you that maybe CVS wouldn't carry it. Not that the quality wasn't great, the quality is really awesome. But because they didn't go the extra mile for packaging and branding, people were trying to buy for $2 or $3. When they saw the clothes, the hemming of it, the trimming of it, just a little bit more, that is a crossing of the T's and dotting the I's. So we have the tendency to do what I call hurry up and wait. Most of the times when you don't have that type of leverage and power, you can't do things the way they used to. You want to distinguish yourself. Like if you send a letter to someone, because I'm going to be giving you guys some assignments. If you send a letter to someone or to me, and you send me a writing that hasn't been read properly, can I tell you guys something in a way, I'm not trying to be mean. When I read what some of you guys in college or graduates write, I just can't believe it. Some of you don't even take your time to cross your T's and dot your I's, so to speak. It is imperative that you take everything seriously, yet very lightly. People will judge you by what you write. I've gotten offers, people read and say, oh my God, I can see how you write. I didn't wake up and become that way and became that way. So don't take things just because, oh, I'm gonna get through. No, always act. Anything you do, whether you're writing an essay, whether you writing an article, or you are writing a paper, or you're creating your own product, or you're going for a job interview, or you're writing your own resume. And then how do you go there and come and say, oh, I didn't get it, or maybe I'm not good enough? Has it occurred to you that it might be that you didn't cross your T, or maybe you didn't dot your I's? But guess what? That was then. Now you know better. When we know better, we do better. The time that we're living in calls for us not taking life the way it used to be. Each and every one of you must cross your T's and dot your I's in every aspect of your life. Next slide, please, so you can. And if you have any question or comment, please make sure you put it on the chat. The reason why this is important is we're looking at going down what you have done, the lessons you've taken, and where we're going next to prepare you for the business model, canvas model, and what you're going to do. I and the group, we came together and thought about the fact that if you guys don't make minor things major, because in business, everything is major. In life, everything is major. Yet we say don't major in minor, minor in the major. So if you think they're not writing well, oh, they don't worry, they get my point. Maybe when you're talking to your friends. So let's say now you got the part that has to do with the writing, the putting the things together, packaging it well. There are different types of relationship and different types of communications that if you don't master them, you can produce the best thing in this world. Nobody's going to pay attention unless you're one of the Kennedys. All you need to do is give them, they come out and, go to one station and you're good to go. But if you and I are not the Kennedys in that regard, we have to be very diligent in everything we do. And I've gone and researched a few successful businessmen and women that I appreciate the way they started, not the one that it was handed to, those who built it from scratch, like you and I are doing or attempting to do. And I realized that most of them were very diligent. They went above and beyond. They didn't do things that the average person would do and say, oh, that's okay, that's all I care to do right now. They went above and beyond. And when I looked at, for instance, say Mark Cuban, for instance, he talked about how as a kid, he was always going about, he was selling paper. Early in the morning, he's out. And when you trace his history and the way he's gone about it, he's always about going above and beyond. So sometimes people say, oh, I didn't know you were going to be successful. Most of the time, you can tell those that are going somewhere. They don't settle for the way others are doing it to get away with something. Don't try to get away with nothing, because you really cannot get away with anything. For everything, there is a price for it. So I'm asking and charging you guys to continue to go above and beyond. The things I'm sharing with you today are the etiquettes that successful business people have every day that nobody would teach in the classroom. And that's why WETATi is joining, fusing what you need to know in this world to succeed with what you're getting in the class. So when you get out, you be this great person, whether you're going to get into join the workforce or you starting your own business. But I am pleading with each and every one of you that if you really sit and think about what this COVID-19 and everything going on right now is showing, is that more of us need to begin to participate in our own rescue, begin to build our own wealth. Because if we're not building the wealth and we depend on getting a job, and this will continue. The only way this can subsidize or we can change a bit of this conversation is for your generation to begin to call the shots by creating your own wealth. And because now you're still students, there are so many places and avenues that you can utilize to create it. And it's not a rocket science for you to have an idea that can become something. But for the life of me, most of you are looking for the answers in the wrong places. Or some would even say, Dr. Drake, this is so hard. So what is not hard? Living a mediocre life, living a life where others are dictating to you the way you should go, how you wake up or how you should dress? That's not it. What is this fight about? It's about economics. What is politics? Politics is money and money is politics. So don't get it twisted. You all need to charge yourself. My goal after this training today is for you guys just to say to yourself, I've got to do more. Just know you have more to do. Know you have more to give to yourself and this world. You can contribute more. My hope is that you're going to share this on the social media. Whatever you gain, hopefully you're getting something out of this. The job that we have is to make sure you guys don't join the old school of thought that all you need is a classroom education. I don't even need to convince you, because you can look around the world and see that's not it. Why do we have millions and millions of people out of work? Because 99.9% are working for the less than 1%. Not because they're stupid, not because they're not hardworking, but nobody called upon them early on to tell them that they can. And guess what? You guys are blessed, because with the advent of technology, there's literally nothing that you cannot do, that you guys cannot do. With the help we're giving you guys free of charge because you're students, but some are not even taking advantage of it. So let's beware. Number 4, beware of the nonverbal cues. You see, do you guys know why when you go for a job interview, most of the time you know that they really don't need to have you come in, right? They're trying to gauge who you are from the way you sit up, the way you smile. They just want to read your aura as a human being. Would we sit in the same room with this person? Does the person have the kind of spirit that we would want to work with? So if you bring the same thing in the business setting, you're going to go out and negotiate deals. You're going to go out and try to, and I don't tell people, I don't sell, I educate, and sell is by default. And you want to educate people about the product, why they should buy from you, why a company or Target, any of those people should carry your product that you're going to produce, because I believe in you all. I know you guys are going to change this narrative. My work and the WETATi work is not going to be in vain. You all must do something because I know you got it in you. But guess what? When you produce, I don't know if one of you told me that they're working on some type of app, and they, let's say whoever you want to go to, just they call you, they've seen the product, they love what your app is able to do, and they say, we're going to fly you to California, we're going to meet with you, and before you know it, you're there. Guess what? They're checking your nonverbal cues. They're watching the way you sit, because they know that they're not going to buy into what you have to offer until they buy into you. Does that make sense? Those nonverbal cues also relate to how you talk, how you enunciate, how you move your hands, your gestures, even making an assessment of the people in the boardroom or the people that are there. When you are trained to watch and understand the power of nonverbal communication or verbal cues, when you sit in the room, 10, 20 people, if I do that, if I sit around them and I watch them look at each other, I can tell you what they're thinking. I can tell you exactly where they're going, and I know exactly what I need to say. Say you go for a job interview, and throughout your day you're frowning or you have a straight face. You're not communicating with your face to them or whoever you're sitting. Guess what? They're thinking, oh, this person may be a difficult person. They don't even smile. You couldn't even put the clue. And they could just be sitting there with a little pet, whatever image. And then you look at it and you smile. You haven't said anything, but they can now begin to think, oh, this person belongs here because it looks like they have a pet, because they looked at my pet's picture and kind of smiled. That may be the thing that gets you in the door. Most people don't talk about nonverbal, just like right now in politics. There are a lot of things people are trying to accuse certain people about, but they can say that because they didn't say it, but because they can read the nonverbal cues of communication and they can tell. You cannot succeed in business and be a deal maker and be a great negotiator if you cannot master or begin to understand how verbal communication can impact your product, your business deals. These are the things nobody teaches in the classroom. They can have a conversation about it. Next slide, please. So the goal of this is to give you some insight about what the people who, and when I talk about success in business, I'm not talking about those that every year they smell the same order, nothing happens, they're not growing, they're not helping anybody. I'm talking about those that are killing it in the marketplace, not the ones whose father or mother handed it to because they don't understand what it means to start from scratch. I'm talking about those who started from literally nothing. Because the reason why that's important is if somebody's telling you to start a business, somebody's telling you can do this, and when you look around, everybody else got it given to them. But when you know that one has done it, because God is no respecter of persons, what he did for one, he can do for another. And you know that some other people have done it, and they did it with sheer belief in themselves, hard work, and doing everything and learning from other people, then you know you can do it, right? So just remember that you have the power to change your life. And I know at this point in time in our lives, your generation is going through a lot, but not as much as others in other countries. Some of you have the privilege of being with your parents. Do not take it for granted. That's why you should work harder than ever. Now you don't have as much bills, that you can utilize the money, whatever it is that you do. We have next week, we're gonna have David Seiler, the vice president of the West Bank, that used to be Oline Bank, is gonna be on financing, creative ways to finance your business. Don't let lack deter you from moving forward, because that lack is not really actual, it's a mindset, because perception is reality. I'm a firm believer that you are the asset and not the money. I've done a lot in my life with very little. So I know for a fact that if you're willing and you want to do it, you can do it with the right support behind you. If you're willing, we're here for you. The fifth point is people that are successful in business don't just do any what kind of mumbo. They are very intentional in everything that they say or do. The key word here is intention. What is your intention, and how are you going to communicate that to those you want to say you are there to those you want to pull into the idea that you have on the journey you want to go? Or perhaps just because you said it, then it's going to happen. That's not true. How do you show your intention? Is it the work that you're doing every day to make sure nothing stops you and everybody around you can tell no one can stop this? Is it the calls you're making every day to talk to those that need to come along with you? Is it the sleepless nights that you're putting? So you have to determine, how am I going to show my intention? Because if your intention is in the right place, no one can talk you out of it. When your intention is to say, I'm going to be the first person in my family to own a business. I'm going to be the first person in my family to make sure I don't own a student debt. I'm going to be the first person in my, whatever that intention is, you to have it written out, write down your points, and every day or every other day, once a week, go take a look at it. If your intention is not clear and precise, it won't take long before you drift away. And then you keep moving and shifting because you never stated categorically what your intention is and what it is you're going to do. I know a lot of you told me, Dr. Drake, I'd like to own my own business. Okay, that's your intention. Show me how. What are you doing about it? How are you going to go? Is it when you have the right intention, when you encounter a challenge or somebody says no to you, that's not the reason why you should quit. That means your intention is not backed up with any fire. So you have to have fire behind your intention. So when everything begins to shake, you hold on. What is your why? Your intention must also let you know what is your why for the decision you just made. If your why is big enough, nobody can talk you out of it. If your why is big enough, no one can get you out of that intention. If your intention is you're going to own a business, come sun, come shine, whatever the word is. Remember, if you can hold on to your intention, going through thick and thin, whether your goal or your intention is to work for a Fortune 500 company, just know the pros and cons, what it's going to take. If you go down in the annals of history, and I charge you guys on your own, a private time at your leisure, go and research anyone. For instance, say, what is this guy in Hollywood? What is this guy in Hollywood? What's his name? I'm trying to think. Let's say, let me use Walt Disney. When he made a decision, I've watched him, I've read about him, I watched his video because I'm always looking at those who have gone before me. I remember looking at the segment when he talked about, he told his friends that he wanted to start Walt Disney, do that little rabbit stuff. And they laughed at him. They laughed at him and they laughed at him and laughed at him. But guess what? He said, you watch me. That is an affirmation that his intention is unshakable. Because if nobody challenges your intention, you won't have the guts to actually push forward. Then you will know if you really want it. Next slide. So remember, the way you communicate your intention is so many folds. I don't want to give you the way you should do it. The goal is to open this kind of worm for you to begin to think about what you're thinking about. How are you expressing your intentions about the thing that matter to you? But I'm bringing this to you, not just success in entrepreneurship, but success in life in general. You cannot succeed. And how do I say? The success I'm talking about is, you see, for you to succeed in the corporate, you have to succeed on a personal level. If you can get your personal level together to the extent that you can hold your own in various aspects of your life, it is very easy to transfer it into the corporate world. I used to do a training for Blacks in government. And the first time they asked me to train on leadership and corporate, I told them we need to start with personal leadership. They said, what is that? I said, because if you cannot lead your life, you cannot lead a corporation. That's why some people that leadership is handed to at a corporate level, very soon after they lose it because they didn't even master themselves. You can't master other people or the people if you haven't mastered yourself. So I'm challenging you that I can see and I can tell that you guys got this. You guys know exactly where you're going. All you need is some guidance. So that brings me into online presence. I know you guys know more about this, but can I tell you guys this? I do work for another county. I'm a business consultant for another county in Maryland. and I got the privilege to work with some, local businesses. And can I tell you guys this? And this should really wake you all up if nothing has woken you up at this point. And some of you, I hope you guys watch CNN or some of this other media and where they give statistics. The news, the last time I heard, was about 40 or 42% of minority businesses, or even more, I think the statistics are higher, at the end of this pandemic or whatever you call it, is going to die completely. So the work that I was doing in this county, I had an aha moment. I was able to see why that is possible. Majority of the minority businesses do not have any form of online presence, or they have a little sketchy stuff that doesn't even, you don't want to go there. Think about it. If you are, and you guys are blessed because you guys are the technology kids, and you know it more than anybody. So why are you not taking advantage of it to build your generational wealth, to change a lot in your family? Perhaps, do you know how many students in the last 1 year that are calling me? When I was talking to them before they graduated, they thought I was kidding. Now they don't have a job and they have student loans. One of them said to me, I wish I had listened because I would have taken advantage, because I can help you now. When it was time for you to be helped, you didn't do anything about it. You took it for granted. Online presence is everything. And I'm telling you, if any of you do not make it in life, don't blame your mama, nor your papa, nor Dr. Dureki, nor WETATi. You just didn't do enough. Because I told you in one of the slides, my successes in life did not come from what somebody handed to me. I made a decision, determine what my intent is, that I was going to cut it and I was going to do it no matter what it took. You have to be determined that you're going to go through. I don't want to hear that, this is so hard. So what? Everything that is worth having is worthy of you going through it. Just realize there will be no change without change. There will be no change without challenge, and definitely no change without sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? So you won't be one of the people in the line on unemployment. Don't take it for granted that you are where you are right now. It's a privilege and not a right. You need to take advantage of it. If you're not mad at what is going on right now and use that as an incentive for you to do differently, I don't know what you guys are doing. Most of you are feeling sorry. Let me get straight to point 6. If you go back and watch this webinar that we're talking about and listen to it and take it in, you would find something that will charge you up. I'm trying to charge you up before you charge yourself down. Next year, 2 years, 4 years from now, whatever you do, you will remember this conversation that we're having here. You remember this training and the mindset that I'm trying to work on. I'm giving you guys this 7 etiquette. There's some more, but I know in my journey, these have been very key. When I talked about being present in your community, that took me almost 10 to 15 years to understand. I'm giving it to you guys raw, giving it to you guys. So if you don't take that as a big deal, you have yourself to blame. My job, I know that I'm here as an encourager. I'm here to uplift other people and empower others, give them the truth they need to move forward. What you do with it is entirely up to you. As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. My kids are all grown. I don't have any kids anymore in that regard. They will always be my children. So for me to dedicate my life to do this and you guys take it for granted, it's on you. But I must answer the call of duty. God has called me to do this work, and that's what I will do. I want you guys to follow me under Margaret Speaks as well. I want you guys to share this information on social media. I can tell you there are a lot of other generation, your age mates, that would need this, but they don't know that we have this forum, that they can take advantage while they can. But rather, some are into the fluff. You know, everybody knows that stupidity is fun, right? You guys agree with me. Stupidity is the most fun thing you can ever have in this world. But guess what? It's bridge to nowhere. It is bridge to nowhere. So most people don't want to listen to the things that can make them change or think. But they're killing themselves because nobody's going to hand it to you at the end of the day. Even if that, after all is done, there are some legislations that now create opportunity for us. If you didn't prepare yourself for this kind of work, how are you going to be able to take advantage of it? If we hadn't prepared your mind, prepare your path, you can see that opportunity and call it a challenge and call it something stupid. So WETATi is determined We are able and capable of helping those who really want it really badly. And if you've never wanted it before, you should want it now because of what's going on around the world. Step number 6, or point number 6. When I say online presence is everything, those businesses I was talking about earlier that I've experienced and I'm still experiencing, it is because they were still doing business as usual, brick and mortar. If you watch all the successful online businesses from Amazon to Target to Walmart, guess what? As they were building their brick and mortar, they were paying attention to what was going on in technology, and they were preparing. You've got to prepare yourself for what is to come. So you guys understand technology more than me, but none of you are taking advantage of it. Rather, you're watching other people's lives and then clicking like and following them, but you're not following what is going to change your life. What's up with that? You follow them vicariously. They're not even teaching you how they got the bling that you want. Stop following the bling and follow the process so you can create your own bling. What's wrong with you being the one that is being followed in that regard? Online presence is everything. And as I see these statistics they were talking about on CNN, most of those businesses do not have any online presence, or if they do, it's not something anybody wants to visit. Because you guys are very much blessed for such a time as this, if you don't take advantage of it, don't call anybody. Don't call me, I won't pick up. But if you're willing to participate in your own rescue, right now, you're not even traveling, you're not going to school, you're at home, or whatever you do. What is stopping you from pushing forward? I'm here, WETATi is here, we're building everything for you, but most of you don't even want to take advantage of. What is that about? I've watched all the protestation. You can protest all you want. Wonderful, I hail everyone who is protesting, but what are you going to do actively to bring about change? If we're not participating in the active part of what's going on, I call it noise. Because action and prayer are the only thing that I know that make a difference, period. So you need to begin right now. Start. There's so many softwares now that all of you can manage to create your own website. It doesn't matter what you have there. Be okay with it. Start from nonsense to make sense of it. Start from nothing to make something out of it. There's this commercial I love so much. It says, and I'm thinking, I told my kids I'm going to write a book about that. It's called Nothing is Everything. That's heavy. Nothing is everything. If you can take that in for a second, you're going to get up. If you realize that nothing is everything, start with something. It will become something and vice versa. You can build your own website. Stop waiting for somebody to hand you. There's nothing there to be handed. You owe it to yourself to start now. And don't say, oh, this is my little business. Every big business was once a small business. Don't call anything about you small or nothing. It's a complex, it's a state of mind. And no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. And inferiority is a state of mind. And the thing I don't like about some of the corporate things, they only show you the big wow that was created. Nobody wants to show you. You know, my husband and I were talking about it the other day, like 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll be up or writing and talking, and they show the thing that you don't need to see about businesses, how they did it, but they don't show it when most of you are awake. And we're like, what is that about? But that's what you need to see. And so you can emulate the right path. At the end of this protest, at the end of this COVID-19, what are the minorities going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to create? Do you know how many business opportunities that has arisen as a result of this? How many of that is going to come to this community? And online presence is the key. Now you have tons of time. Somebody say, oh, I have homework, excuse me. You have homework, so what? You got 24 hours in the day. What is homework? You wait until real homework of life meets you. Then you will know what homework is. This is your hour, this is your time. What you do with it is entirely up to you. Start your online presence, whether you want to build your social. There was one of them, she didn't even have a website. She was like, oh, I just have she said a IG page. What is that? IG page is great, but believe you me, you cannot run a successful business just on IG alone. You've got to show, because perception is reality. That IG page should take them to your website, right? Even my baby Destiny, her website is almost completed. She has a new line of things. I was like, oh my God, So I know for a fact your conditions may not be perfect, but if you wait for perfect condition in your life to do, you're never going to do it, because every moment you move to another aspect of life, there will be a challenge. So are you never going to take the path because there are challenges in there? It's up to you. This is the time that you have to realize, as I'm talking to this business, working with them, listening to news and stuff, I now see why most of those businesses, minority businesses, are going to go down. One, they're not adapting, because if you don't adapt, you're going to die. They're not adjusting. And secondly, they don't have strong online presence. If you don't have, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. You guys see what we did. As soon as we realized that business is not going to be as usual, we had a board meeting, we had a corporate meeting, we flipped the narrative immediately. And we said, WETATi, as challenging as it might be, we're going to go online. We realized that things are not going to be the way they used to be. That even our award is going to be, I think, August 29th. We're going to do it online. You have to adapt to the times. And most jobs now are also going to be online. And guess what? They are sourcing out most of the jobs you guys are getting for-year degree outside of America. So when are you going to think about how you're going to create it? Create your own. And don't tell me you don't have money. Not having money is not the answer. I didn't start with any money. You are the asset and not the money. I want you to know that you need to start today. Whatever you haven't done right, don't worry about yesterday. Yesterday is gone. It's never too late for a new beginning. Mary Kay was 45 years old when she said, to hell with all this nonsense, I'm going to start my own business. And you guys are not even half of that age. So what is your excuse? You have technology, technological knowledge and know-how more than any of us out here, your generation. Are you taking advantage of it? Point 7, and that's maybe the. So if you have a question or comment, write it out there. If you have a comment or question, because I'm really, bleeding. My heart is bleeding because that's how passionate I am about this. If you have a comment, you have a question, let me know. Number 7, this is the last point here, but it is the most important to me. All of them are very important. A lot of people always ask me, hey, Dr. Dureke, how come you were able to get this? And then you're able to get it, but I wasn't able to get that. And I realized that most people do not follow through. You see, have you gone to a meeting and you collect somebody's business card, and then after you go home, you look at the card over and over and you put it down at the table? Or one day you muster courage to just call one time, and then the person didn't call you back. Oh, well, I called them, but they didn't call me. Oh, well, that's it. Maybe they don't like me. Oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough. If there's any major secret I'm going to share today with you guys, is the power of follow through. The secret is in following through. I don't give up. I could call 20 times. Don't matter to me. You can get mad at me. If you want it bad enough, you make it happen. The power of follow through. So let me give you an example. And again, if anybody has any comments or questions, please put it in the chat right below. If not, it's okay. Let me give you guys an example, right? If, let's say, you built an idea or business and you want to get it into Walmart. You did every research you could online. You couldn't get the right access. And then you're like, oh, forget it. I don't know what they're about. I'm not interested. I can't take this anymore. You didn't follow through. If you tried everything online, you could get up, get in your car, drive to one of the local stores. Somebody's going to be nasty to you. Some of the managers are going to tell you, I don't have time. They will tell you to wait 1 hour. You have to wait an hour. And guess what? By the time they attend to you, they could tell you that they don't have the information you need. Do you know what you do? You just ask them, so, okay, oh, thank you so much, but could you give me a lead? In this instance, I can tell you the person, okay, here, let me give you a number to the corporate office. You may have to go through this process 20 times before you get a yes. How many of you are willing to do that? But the reason why you need to, there's so many examples I can go on and on to talk to you about, but there are so many examples of how if you don't follow through, you cannot succeed in business. Some people don't like to follow through, you know why? Because they're afraid of rejection. If you've never been rejected, you have no idea what it means to be accepted. It is important that, one, when you say, I'm going to start a business. Don't do it a one-time thing, talk about it, and then you get tired of it, you put it away. That's another way to follow through. I have a new book that I just finished writing. It's called the 11 Keys. It's called 11 Keys to find the seed of opportunity in any adversity. I started it about a month ago. Guess what? I have a lot going on, but I'm going to see to it because talk is cheap. When you say you're going to do something, the secret that these successful businessmen and women have is that they follow through. When they come out and say something, you know why people say something publicly? So that they'll follow through, because if they don't, they'll feel humiliated. So you need to be able to follow through no matter how difficult it may be. Even if you're crying, it's okay, wipe your tears and pick up from where you stopped. It is imperative that you do things and follow through no matter how difficult. Or perhaps, are you looking for a job? Everybody you talk to, nobody cares. You don't give up. You pick up the phone, you call, you get up, get in your car. I don't mean this minute because of COVID-19. Things are not the way they used to be, where you can just get up and go. But guess what? Where there is a will, there is a way. You cannot let excuses stop you from finding your destiny. Does that make sense? Can I tell you guys something? The guy who started Home Depot, you guys, I don't want to give you spoon feed you guys, go do the research. He was laid off work. Do you know the worst times in your life are your most creative timeline that you can turn around? There are many successful businesses that have made it big time are people who were rejected or who were laid off, who didn't have nothing. Do you know the more you have, the less likely that you're going to be proactive. You just, right? You need to be able to follow through in everything that you say you do and see it to its infinite conclusion. Because if you don't do that, that's why a lot of people go with, and they're dying bed, I could, I should have. They're like, God is going to tell you to get back out here. Why didn't you? You were afraid of failure. You're afraid of this and that. Who cares? The power you're going to acquire as you go through life will come from the power to follow through no matter what. It is the feeling, the most I don't know, the feeling that you can't even describe when it happens. Do you know the greatest news about the power of follow through is that when you do it 1-2 times, you get bigger and taller. Now you say, life, bring it on. You know this, so you can do it. The more you succeed, the more you follow through and succeed, the more you begin to empower yourself and bring in more of the characteristics and the residues that people who are powerful bring to themselves. Have you watched somebody on television or somebody talk, you're like, wow, I wish I could be like that. How did they get like that? They didn't get it from wimping and staying and watching other people and complaining. You get guts from being gutsy about the things you do, by taking chances, doing the things that others will say, not for me. If you cannot follow through, you cannot do business. Even looking for a job. Some people say, oh, I sent 7 resumes, nobody called me. 7? Just like number 7. That's nothing. It's a game of numbers. And then you might even go back and revisit your resume, have somebody take a look at it. Maybe something is not right. Does that make sense? That's the power of follow through. In the process, you can even realize maybe you need to have a business, have an app on how people can write a resume, have a template. You see how sometimes in the process of going through your struggle, you have an idea for business. People who are sedentary in life, who just sit and complain, they can't do business because they're already giving up. If you cannot follow through on the things you say, if you tell me, Dr. Duraki, I'm going to turn in my assignment by 10 o'clock tonight, and you didn't do it for no reason, no call hit you, not over there, you have an issue. You have to push yourself to follow through. All of you know me that when I tell you I'm going to do something, and I don't do because I'm expecting anything from any of you. I believe in this world that whatever we push out, we're going to get it one way or the other. Do unto others as you want, do unto them. No, you guys are not my blood kids, but you guys are my children, if you know what I mean. So I want to make sure I give you guys the best that I have. I don't have all the answers, but together we can do it. So that's about what I have for you guys today. If you can master this 7, if you have questions, I think I see one or so. If you have questions for me, if you have whatever it is you want to talk to me about, I'd be more than glad to answer those questions. If you master this And this 7, I left it intentionally because I know a lot of people often wonder why they didn't get through something, not knowing that I wrote a book on network marketing. I did it. I got to the top of the company in 6 months. I became a senior vice president. I wrote a book about that. All my books are on Amazon or under Margaret Dureki. But guess what? The secret was in the follow-up. Most people will reach out to people, talk to them for one, and after they say no, they go away. I have to find out why you said no, because I want to better myself with the next person I'm going to call. But a lot of people, once they get rejected 1 or 2 times, they go, oh my God, this is not for me. Heck no, it is for you. It is for you to fine tune your talent or your skill, or check yourself and see. Everybody's not going to want you. Everybody's not going to approve of you. But guess what? The great news is all you need is one person. And one encounter with the right person, you're good to go. And everyone has an angel waiting for them, but you need to do your part to get it. That's pretty much what I have for each and every one of you. Let me look to see, I think if you have a question or comment. So this one say, hi, Dr. Drake. This is not a question, but a comment. I really appreciate the passion you are putting into improving our lives. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. That's good. That's good. That's all I know how to do. I don't know how to do anything haphazardly. So if you guys don't have any other question, I want to bring this to a close. I'm very proud of each and every one of you guys. Just know that we hold you guys liable for not sharing this. You guys need to make it personal agenda so that others who don't have foresight like you guys can follow you guys to come and drink where you guys are drinking from. It is imperative. Remember, everyone is not a visionary. If you are on this training today, you are a visionary. You are a leader, and leaders bring other people along. So the followers, just like the match, there are some people, they just want to follow. They don't want to lead. Everybody cannot lead. You have the subject and the leader. But your job as a leader is to bring others so they can see what you've seen. They can drink from the cup you have drunk from, so that together it will mushroom and everyone can do it. So next Tuesday from 4 to 5:30 or whatever time we finish, you're going to join us. It's going to be how to creatively finance your business. It's going to be done by one of our strategic partners, David Seiler, Vice President of used to be Old Line Bank. They are now called West Bank. You see that in the newsletter that went out. You need to come and continue to drink. Drink pure water, not the one in Nigeria, they call it pure water. You gotta drink pure water, because if you drink from the right stream, nothing, no devil in hell or man on earth can stop you from your destiny, from succeeding. So I am very, 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 if anybody have a question, someone has a question here. What would you say is the best thing to have your application stand out? What would you say is the best thing to have your application stand out? In what regard, what application, what type of application? Can you explain? It says, somebody says, what would you say is the best thing to have your application stand out? I'm not sure in what regard they are talking about, what kind of application. Is it application for a job, or can you, okay, she said in the Canvas model. Oh, I don't know, how many of you here, what should you make sure is very strong? Okay, all right. So she's, this person is talking about in your WETATi Canvas model, business Canvas model. I don't know how many of you have done it. I know a good number have done it. So this person is actually competing. So I think that's why they asked the question. Have done their own Canvas model. And I need you guys to send an email, share with us what it is that is going on with you guys on the journey so far, where you have struggled, where you need help, even with the Canvas model. We have some great things in stock for you all. I wish I were you guys, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. If you guys someday in the later years, you will understand. So I think for me, the way you explain your idea, what it is, the social utility is, for me, is the most important thing. The social utility of your business, meaning what is your business going to do? What problem is it going to solve in the world? I think that's the most important thing. Because if you can create a unique application, a unique idea, because I'm telling you, if you can solve problem in the world, you will not need money. You will not look for money. Money will find you. Do you know that? Do you know how many companies are going cuckoo trying to come out with the vaccine for this virus? Any of the companies that comes out with the vaccine, they will make money until their great-grandkids cannot take any more money. You follow me? So you have to focus squarely. Everything is important, but the reason why I chose this to answer that question is because if you can create a unique idea that can solve any kind of problem that mankind has, you got a great business going. The rest you can fill in the blank and get it. That's for me. And the reason why I say that is because your business idea, the problem is going to solve in the world is what's going to determine whether it's needed or not, whether it's going to succeed or not. That's really the best answer I can give to that. So if anybody else has any question or comment, I can take it. But if not, I think we did great on time. Stay tuned next week. I don't think we can get to this week. I don't know, we may or may not. We've already pulled the scholarship thing together. You guys should expect to get your emails if you're one of those getting it. If not, we'll go send individual emails to each and every one of you. If you have any question or have concern on what you need with your Canvas model, need help with it, reach out to us. We'll be here to support you. Remember to follow and share this webinar on your own personal or your group personal, whatever you do, share this, because I know eventually a whole lot of you will benefit from it. And we wish you guys wealthy being. Take care.